guys, so I'm here today. I'm super excited to share with you how I budget my money because I do own a house currently and it's a lot, and I wanted to share with you how I budget because it's worked for me and all of that fun stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so I budget a little bit differently. I mean, it's not anything out of the ordinary and it's nothing you probably haven't heard before, but this is specifically what works for me. And as you may know or don't know, I work at Target, so you know, my paycheck isn't the most largest as it could be compared to some other people. So this way that I do it, I feel like works really well for someone who doesn't always have the same amount coming in all the time. And just in general, like even if I did have a normal job and had normal paychecks, I would still use this method. So it's really for anyone, but personally for me, I don't have the same amount coming in all the time. Sometimes my income fluctuates and I don't have a job that, you know, I get buttloads of money. So this is how I do it and has worked for me. I specifically wore my green shirt for money talking. So also I feel like I've always been decent with money, so I wanted to kind of show you my spreadsheet and how I do it every month and how it works for me, and hopefully this can help you and give you some tips of what you can do to budget for yourself, be it if you're in an apartment, still living at your parents, and stuff like that. So this template can work for anyone, and I'll have this template also linked down below on a Google Doc so you can just copy and paste it. Also, you can check out my TikTok Target budgeting videos that I do every other week as well. I'll have that link down below and show an example really quick because I do that every 2 weeks, but I do have additional income every once in a while. But honestly, I don't put my income on my spreadsheet because for me, I feel like that doesn't technically matter. As long as my bills are being paid, that's all that matters at this current moment. So let's get into the document. Okay, here is my document. So first, up there at the top, you see expenses, each, due, and then all of the months. Once the month's over, I do kind of make it a bit smaller because it doesn't really matter. So what I do is have this on top. I have mortgage because that's the most important bill that I have. So that's what I have right there. I put the price in parentheses, and then each paycheck means I pay that for each paycheck, so I have that much money on there. What I like to do too, you can see in August, I've already paid July's, and then August, you know, I have 0 plus 0 because it can be each paycheck adding up to that amount. The mortgage, like I said, is $1,385. Car insurance is $103. And these are all my current bills right now, so it's very up to date. Wi-Fi $73, gas, electric, don't have anything because those do fluctuate at this current moment, but I did sign up for budget one, so it should be all of the same soon. Garbage is $39, but it does go down during winter months. You don't need the yard work portion of that. And then water and groceries also are kind of flexible. Water is every other month, so that is kind of nice. And then groceries, like I said, is flexible. Here's some stuff for Winston down there that I have paid off, things like that. So I do put a lot of stuff down there that, you know, is not always the same every month. So as you can see, I have when it is due. So the mortgage is due the 1st of the month. All these other ones, the 29th, the 1st, the 12th, 23rd, 31st, 2nd. If I was more organized, I'd probably put them more in order and put them, you know, listed in the correct dates in order. But at this current moment, I don't. Probably will do that, honestly, later today. So within that, I put the price. So you can see for the car insurance is $103.89. So when I was living with my boyfriend at the time, I did 0 plus 0 because we would split stuff. However, now I live alone, so now there's not 2 zeros. However, there's 2 zeros right here, so we're going to delete that. So once I see, oh, this is on the 29th, my paycheck, I'll get paid later than that. So the paycheck that I currently have, I have to put that. So what I do is every paycheck that I have, I go on this and see what I need done. No matter what, I always know I split my mortgage because there's no way I'm paying my mortgage in one paycheck. So I always put that right away. Then later that day or like that weekend, I jump on here and see, okay, I see when I get paid. So then I go on here and say what will be charged by the time I get paid again. So if I do get charged this by the time I get paid again, I need to pay that because I won't have money in my account if I don't pay that for this current paycheck. So let's say it's the 15th. That's a good date. I put half of my mortgage payment down. I put my car insurance because I'm not going to get paid until, you know, the 30th. And so then I put that down. The 1st, I could wait that because I get paid the 30th. So the 1st Wi-Fi will be paid on my next paycheck. And when I do pay it off and do have it paid, I do put it in green so I know that it's already paid and I can move on. So the 12th, I can also wait for the 12th because that will be next paycheck. So gas. Electric, the 23rd will hit over the time before I get paid again. So I'm going to put that down and put 106 down for that. 31st, I get paid on the 30th essentially. So I can wait for that for next paycheck as well. The 2nd, I already paid it for this past month, so I'm not going to pay it until July. Groceries, you know, that's flexible, like I said. Credit card, I do kind of on my own. I kind of just throw money onto that as well. When I do spend on it, I try not to spend too much on it so it's more manageable. But if I was currently trying to pay it off, I would probably put like 50 bucks if I could every single paycheck so I could get that paid off. However, I do put all my gas on there, all of that stuff. But like I said, that's not really in my set list of payments that get paid out every month, because no matter what, I always pay off a little bit on my credit card, and that can be pushed if necessary. Like I said, this is what works for me. So I really like this method as well, because then you can kind of look at your bills and be like, oh look, I paid all my bills, yay. I don't know, it's like a check mark box type satisfaction for me like that. So yeah, so once I obviously pay that off and I put that in my house bank account, I put 103. Actually, I don't put anything, because I used to when I lived with my boyfriend at the time. But now I just kind of delete it. Once I pay it, then I make a pretty little green. So then it's all green in that little box. And I'm like, oh, I paid that. So we're going to delete that so I don't think I already paid that. So I like to put this 0 as well, because then I know that like, oh my gosh, girlie, you have not paid this. You need to. Because if I just had the number, then I probably would forget. So just like the act of having to delete the 0 and making it green, I feel like has helped me a lot. Like I said, if I have extra payments, if I had, you know, a big payment on my credit card that I needed to pay off, I would put this down here, but I currently don't, so I don't have that. So these are all my current bills. Like I said, all the things that are due and all of the months. So once June's over, I'm just going to make it smaller as well and, you know, move along with life. So that's how I budget all of my stuff. I do have some tips of budgeting in general, but obviously like that can be for another full video, but specifically this is how I budget. I always try to, you know, go throughout my life too and try to make some extra income. So I make extra income with social media. I do dog sitting every once in a while. I am signed up for Shipt, and that's like grocery shopping for people. You can make some extra money with that. If you signed up with Uber Eats, that also helps, and I know does well. Ubering in general, lifting. If you can also make your income bigger when you can and when necessary, or just even just randomly when you don't necessarily have to, so you can have that extra money, definitely do that if you feel like you want a little bit of extra money, a little bit of extra spending, things like that. So in general, if you are budgeting and you don't have enough money, you need to figure out a way how to make more. In general, especially in this day of age, it's so easy to make extra money. I do have videos of side hustles I've done and side hustles that I recommend, so I'll also have that link down below. But just in general, in this day of age, it's so easy to make extra money when necessary, so definitely do that if you need to. But personally for me, I like to make money when I don't necessarily need it, so I can have it for a rainy day or just have some extra spending money and not always feel like I'm in this big hole. So that's a big thing. Also with budgeting too, like knowing where your money is going, I feel like it's helpful. So if you're putting all your money towards your bills, what you have left, you can at least spend a little bit. And if you don't have much left, you know you don't have much to spend. So I think that definitely helps me. So I'm not like, ooh, this money's in my bank account, and not realizing it is for bills. And then at the time the bill is due, I'm like, crap, I don't have that. So budgeting is a whole nother video probably of just in general how I do it, how I try to make more money, all of that fun stuff, tips for budgeting in general. But I wanted to share some of my tips and specifically how I did it so you guys can know, and hopefully it helps you guys. So like I said, you don't need like the most perfect job. You don't need anything. I don't even put how much I get per paycheck because it is so random on here. So potentially if I did get a job that I did get set amount of money every paycheck, I would put it down here and I could, you know, budget it more easily. But because I work at Target and it's always so random, I make extra money randomly as well with dog sitting, social media. It's everywhere. So this is what works for me personally and what is working currently and has worked a lot. So that was a lot, I know. So if you have any more questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram or comment them down below. I'd love to answer them. And I hope you guys liked watching this, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.